I am Carmen Pretorius and I'm playing Maria, Marina, slash from Trap.
I'm Nicholas Ward and I play Captain Hopper. Anyone have any questions?
Yes.
Oh, I get it. Goodbye.
What was your earliest memory of the Sound of Music, either the film or the stage musical?
My earliest memory was watching the film. My mom bought, I have two younger sisters, and my mom bought us the movie when we were younger and told me the story about Julie Andrews and the actual Von Trapp family, and we watched it. I think we watched it as a family, and it was just something that we always used to play. I fell in love with the film, so I played it at least once a week. I watched it. And then I remember sort of growing up, it was always a part of my life because Julie Andrews was iconic as a singer. I always looked up to her. And then when I was at 18 and I started my career in the theatre industry, I remember that the TV show was happening in the UK on the BBC with Connie Fisher, and I filled the search for the Maria for the London production. And I was watching that, and that's when it came up in my life again. And then a few years later, I auditioned for this show. So yeah, that's my journey. It's a very, very personal one.
Mine's a little bit different. I was first introduced to Christopher Plummer in Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, where he played a Klingon.
Really?
Yeah.
That was before my time. I wasn't born yet.
And I hadn't seen The Sound of Music at all until 2006. When I got the opportunity to do the West End show with Connie Fisher that you saw advertised. So I watched it then, and it's a great film. I really, really enjoyed it. It's, my wife loves it. It's one of her favourite shows, but I hadn't got caught up on it. So as a child, I didn't watch musicals much, like Mary Poppins or Sound of Music. I didn't grow up on that, which is good because then you don't then have the weight of the responsibility. Because some people, Sound of Music is very important to them. They've grown up with Julie Andrews singing and Christopher Plummer being fantastic. So I didn't have that. So I came to it without that pressure, I think.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to be Christopher Plummer.
Yes.
Because he is Christopher Plummer, I'm myself. So I kind of try and bring my own, interpretation of the role. But yes, it must be quite daunting, I would imagine, for Maria's, knowing that you have Julie Andrews somewhere in the background. You have to try and dispel that and create the character for yourself, which Carmen does beautifully. Because she is Glorious Pretorius.
That's my nickname, Glorious Pretorius.
For this particular production, did you have to audition?
No. It's one of those rare jobs as an actor where you get asked to do a job.
Did you not audition?
No. They phoned me up and said, do you want to do it? And I went, well, yes, I'll do Captain. And they went, all right. I went, really? Yes, but I've done, as I said, I've done the show for 3.5 years. I did it in London for 2 years, and then toured the UK. And then I moved over to do The Bodyguard, which was another show by the same producers in London. And then got asked to come and do this, so it's a great honour. Come on.
I did audition. I auditioned in 2013. I auditioned. And I originally played the role of Liesel and understudied Maria, and then I went on to play Maria. So I've been playing Maria for I played Maria for 1.5 years, and then I had 2 years break. I did other things, television and other things back home, and now I'm playing Maria again. So I've had quite a long journey with the show. It's been for 4 years.
How long have you been?
Well, in total, actually, not filming for 10. Yeah, 5-ish. Not solid.
No, then.
I just said, I had a break.
I zoned out.
Well, most of the kids are newbies. It's their first time to do a musical, so did you have to adjust with them?
No, kids are fearless, and they're they're like sponges. So they take in information and very good at not being put off. As adults, I think we're much more self-aware. and therefore you can be put off a lot more. So when Carmen and I look at each other, we might make each other laugh. Whereas the kids aren't like that. And they're wonderful. They're just committed. They've got energy. They've got a longing, a wishfulness to do the job well. They're excited, and everyone's new. Everyone has a first job, so you can't judge someone for their first job. Everyone has to start somewhere, but their standard is brilliant, and it's a great joy to work with them. They're very giving.
They are so professional and so talented, just naturally. I mean, I can't believe that this is the first show that most people have done. They sing beautifully, they act beautifully, so well behaved, professional to the team. We learn a lot from them. We were saying earlier, someone asked us what do you think they learn from us, and I think that we learn from them. We learn how we used to feel when we were younger, and we were looking at when we wanted to be performers, and we are reminded of how special that gift is, and every day to have that, that young energy and youth of this world.
Yeah, you can get old and cynical.
The whole cast just gets infected
So
by
it's
that.
nice to have young energy.
Yeah, and they're just happy to be there. They're just so happy and excited.
Why am I not in that video? I'm the captain.
He was hot.
I wasn't.
No, he wasn't. He
I was
was
at Starbucks.
I thought you were driving.
I should have been driving.
Okay, guys, last
I even
question
own an Nissan.
before we move them to the other group. Last question, 3 minutes.
Okay, you've had several theater experiences. Many Filipino actors have gotten to perform at West End, Rachel Ango, Lea Salonga. Did you ever get to interact or perform with any of them?
No, my wife's ex-boyfriend is Filipino. And he performed in the West End on Miss Saigon. I can't remember his name. His name's Ariel, his first name. He's a lovely performer. So my wife has interacted with him a few times, but I've never been able to.
Your wife is also in theater.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
My granny's sister's cousin's daughter was
I've zoned out again.
No, I haven't. I wish that I had
Interacted with something.
interacted with Lea Salonga. But we were hoping to maybe meet her now, but I'm not sure if we will. But yeah, it feels quite grand to be in this place where such great stars started. And I can totally see why, because everywhere I go, when I'm buying groceries, when I'm going to Concertus, everyone sings, and they sing so well. Like, the person who's doing my groceries, like, I'm like, whoa, you sing so amazingly. And then they're harmonizing with each other in the grocery store. Yeah, and I was like, this is the land of just talent.
Considering you have a lot of theater experience, and you've been doing this for a long time, how do you keep it fresh with every performance? What are the challenges?
That is always a challenge, I think.
I don't know. People always say, how can you do the same thing day in, day out? Because you go on stage and you say the same lines. But then other people do the same thing day in, day out. They go to work, they have to go on the computer, they do this. You might be saying different things, but it's the same job. And it's, but we're doing what we want to do, so we're not actually working. If you can do a job that you love, you never work a day in your life. So every night I'm doing something that I enjoy. And every night I'm recreating something. I'm never just doing the same thing. I'm recreating that scene. So in that sense, every night is different. The audience is different. The way that Carmen will react to a line I give, the way that I'll react to her, is different, and you embrace it. So you never get bored.
It seems to be the same, I suppose, but it's slightly different, and it does become part of the job of what we do is to manage that logistic. How do you keep it fresh? And my trick is to remember that the audience is seeing it for the first time. So we have to tell the story for the first time. Because they've never seen it before. And I just remember that, and then I go, right. And I kind of try and tell myself the story every night as well, from the beginning to the end. that it's not.
Live in the moment.
Yeah, and that's what an actor does, I suppose. We are in the moment. And that's actually what my tattoo means. It means to be in the moment, to be present, and to react to what he gives me or what the kids give me. Because acting is reacting. We are reacting to other people. So yeah, that we know the song's coming up, we know that this person's going to say this line. Sometimes they don't say the line, and then you have to go, oh my goodness. Or what has to come next? You know, it's always this adrenaline thing of we are on a live stage. And sometimes when Nick, you know, gets his line, no, I'm joking, scrap that. He never does.
I haven't yet, but I've only done one show.
Does. He never.
Sorry guys, but we have to.
I'm Rihanna and I play the role of Martha. I'm Sophie and I play the role of Brigitte. I'm Christian and I play the role of Kurt. I'm Isa and I'm playing the role of Louisa. I'm Joseph and I play the role of Rita.
I'm Zoe and I play Liesel.
Okay, so for the Pinoy kids, how does it feel to be selected? I saw the audition, I was there, so I saw you guys going through the audition process. How does it feel to be part of the show? Who wants to answer first? Who wants to answer?
It was amazing. I felt so good. I was so happy because out of everyone, it could have been anyone, but they chose me.
It was very exciting when I got the part. I was excited to dance, sing, and act.
At first, I couldn't believe it, but right now, it's an overwhelming experience for me.
For the foreign kid actors, how does it feel to work with the Pinoy kids?
They're incredible. Oh my gosh, when I got here, they knew everything and they all so respectful and they're helping me because I had only 2 weeks to learn and everything and you guys have just been incredible. And they're so talented. I'm sure you guys are also talented.
Yeah,
they're incredibly talented.
I heard you guys didn't adjust. You did adjust to the standards of what Sound of Music had to offer for your. What preparations did you do?
It's really hard.
They were rehearsing 3 weeks before the adults got here. So before we got here, they've been rehearsing for 3 weeks, every day, 4 hours, eh? Yeah.
How are you adjusting?
We're doing quite well. We're getting better every second.
How was the first show last night? You weren't in the first show.
Okay, is this your first musical show?
Yeah.
Is it?
It's my first.
Yeah.
It's my first too.
Wow. Big project for you guys.
How hard is the rehearsals, the production numbers, the sing and dance? How hard is it?
It's not really hard. Just have to enjoy it.
Right. That's right.
To keep practice, but it's getting okay for us.
Right. You guys,
What's the most challenging part?
Quick changes.
Yeah.
okay.
Thank you. Congratulations again.
You're the youngest? He's youngest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm the youngest in this family.
Oh, okay.
In the family.
Yeah.
But in real life, you are older. Yeah.
See you at the theater!
Have you always been fans of the Sound of Music?
Yes, 100%. I've been watching it since I was about 4 years old. No jokes, really no jokes. And it's one of my dream musicals to be in, so this is absolute dream come true.
Yeah, it's an iconic world favorite. I was saying earlier, I think the first time I watched it, I was probably about 5 years old, but I probably watched it before then. I just can't remember it.
Yeah.
Are you playing roles that are younger than your actor?
Yes. Can't you tell? I mean, like, no, actually, I'm actually 16.
She's it's Zoe's birthday today.
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
Zoe's just turned 39.
Yep.
Yeah, she's looking very good for 39.
Yeah.
But yeah, Zoe plays a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
And
so I turned 25 today, so I'm playing 9 years my junior. But I actually have a little sister who's actually 16, turning 17, so it's really weird for me. I'm like, I'm playing Katie. It's very strange.
I'm 24, and I'm playing a a 17-year-old. So also an 8-year
Yeah.
8-year difference.
Yeah.
How has it been like working with the kids?
Incredible. They're amazing. Yeah, they're so talented and just so respectful and just they know their stuff so well. When you guys come and watch it, I'm sure you'll be so proud of them. They're incredible. Yeah, I love working. Each set of team has their own flair and their own personality to each team, and each team is incredible. Like whichever team you come watch, you won't even tell the difference because they're all amazing. But they all bring their own sort of like nuances to the roles, which are
Flavors.
yeah. Yeah, they're amazing.
If you choose just one scene from the play, what would be your favorite? Just
My favorite, without sounding.
I know. I feel like we're gonna say the same one. Yeah.
Yeah, we're probably gonna say the same thing, but I love 16 going on 17. Visually, it's a beautiful scene. Lighting, choreography.
Sound design.
Yeah, sound design, it really is just spectacular. And then a very, very close second is Do Re Mi. When you see it, and you see what those kids do, and you see what Maria does, it's really special and really fun. You will want to sing it.
Definitely.
Sound of Music is very old musical, but it remains relevant. As it's closer to this generation, why do you think it's timeless?
I think the themes that are in Sound of Music are timeless. It's all about love, camaraderie, friendship, family, tragedies thrown in there as well. So I think the themes within Sound of Music are so poignant in today's society. Even though it was set in the 1950s, those themes are so relevant today because we still love, we still have family, we still have friendship.
Society just keeps doing this.
Yeah.
It just keeps revolving.
Yeah.
And although it might manifest itself in different ways, as technology progresses and as the world progresses, those themes are still the most basic of themes and the most timeless of themes. So, yeah, I think that's why everyone relates and will just keep on relating. The music is simple.
Yeah.
It's simple yet it's beautiful, and everyone knows it. You can listen to the song once, and it'll be stuck in your head.
Yeah, to the 100th time, you're still singing
Yeah,
along.
yeah. You can just sing it forever, and it just never gets old.
I think it's as a child I could totally relate to it because it's just so much fun. Like watching that movie. I remember singing and dancing in my TV in my TV lounge.
In your TV?
In my TV.
She got into her TV and she sang and she danced.
That's how
Watch
much I
this
love
now.
it.
She'll jump into that TV and she'll start doing it now. There she is.
I know. Oh, there I am.
She's dancing in the TV.
Thanks,
You're welcome.
For my slipper.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's just so much fun, and I think, especially as a child, you can totally relate to just a governess coming in and just being like, let's just sing and have fun, and let's just dance around the living room. And growing up, you relate to different characters as you grow up. So you kind of go from Gretel all the way up the kids, and then you kind of start Maria-ish, and then I suppose older, you're like, oh, Mother Abbas has some good points, and like, so I think as you grow older, you relate to different characters.
Exactly, yeah. And when you're younger, like the first time that I watched it, you never get to understand the dark subject matter behind it, you know, where it's set, the themes that backdrop the entire show, and you ultimately end up just falling in love with the music.
Yeah.
You know, it's the music that you love, and the dancing and the singing. That's what you fall in love with as a child. And then, like Zoe said, as you grow up and you watch it again and again, you start going, oh, okay. And you start learning about history in school, and you start putting pieces of the puzzle together, and it just becomes more and more relevant the more you watch it. You know, you end up picking up things in the film that are that you've never picked up before. You go, oh, okay, I've made that connection. Oh, this is why he did that. Oh, okay, that's why he did that. And it's all to do with how we experience life and how we are.
Thank you.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Cool.
But there's lots of interesting stuff here, so exciting.
What was your initial memory of the Sound of Music? Did you see it first on stage
Yes.
or the film?
Yes, I was about 5 or 6 years old, and that was the first live musical my parents took me to in Cape Town. There's a theatre called Artscape, and they took me to that, and I don't remember much of it, but I can still see the picture on my mind of the scenes with the nuns. So it's kind of come full circle with the nuns again. So yes, but that was my first theatre experience, and also of course the movie we saw at school, and yeah, it's just like funny.
So you're very familiar with the songs?
Yes, yes.
You mentioned that you're in college. So, did you audition for it or
Yeah, some of my friends were involved in it, and they, because I was an opera singer, I was not really informed about, we don't know about the musical auditions or anything. And then I met one of my friends at another musical that I went to see, and I asked him what they were doing, and he said they're doing Sound of Music, and I said, wow, that would be really nice to be part of that. He said, well, why didn't you come for auditions? I said, well, so he said, well, wait, there might be a problem with the Mother Abbess. Let me just call me tomorrow. So I called him the next day. No, it's okay now. They don't have a problem anymore. 2 weeks later, he called me again, and he said, would you come and audition for us? And the rest is history.
why is playing and how is playing and then difficult for someone like
I am a very I'm not a nun in real life. Because it's very holy and very still, and it's not like theatre, so it's quite difficult. But yeah, in a way, because she's quite a wise character and older, obviously, and I am older than Maria in Carmen in real life, and my own personality is a little bit like a mother in a way, so that makes it a little easier.
Why do you think the Sound of Music still resonates to people many years after it was first staged?
Yes.
Why do you think it remains relevant?
Yes. I think because of the movie, it was so it is so well known, but also the songs are so beautiful, and I don't know about here, but in our schools we used to sing it, we learned it, we sang it at school, and whenever you meet someone, most people have a story about Sound of Music. It was either the first film they saw, like my mother, I know that was the first film she saw in South Africa, and yeah, their first musical like me, or they learned the songs at school, or they saw the movie. So everyone's got, and they've got fond memories of it because it's a special, happy musical full of hope. Eventually, even if it has the dark story of the Nazis or the Second World War, but it's a feel-good musical, and yeah, it's happy when you see it.
But then you saw the musical as a child?
Yes.
Why do you think children should see this musical?
Because of the other children that's in it. They are so cute. Especially the Manila children are incredible. They're so talented. And obviously there is a culture of performance, and I know everyone likes singing and karaoke and whatnot. And for them to see what is possible, and a lot of the kids like in UK or even South Africa where I come from, they've gone on to reach great heights in their acting, and some of them are quite well known now. So there's, for them to see the possibility, but also the music is lovely, and it's not like an opera where they might be bored or anything. It's fun. It's I enjoyed it as a child very, very much. So I would recommend it. Even if it's the first time you take your child to the theatre, this is perfect.
Regardless of whether you're playing the nun or not, which you said the music is beautiful. Which is your favorite song?
My song,
Yeah, of course.
But also, of course, Do Re Mi and Favorite Things. And, yeah, all the well-known songs. There's quite a few songs that are not so well-known and that are not in a movie, because the movie was, the play came first. And the movie was changed a little bit, songs were moved around, and like in the movie they do the goat herd, they do the puppet show, but here it is done in the bedroom. So there are changes in the movie actually, not from the original stage there. So yeah, people come in and say, oh, but that's different, or.
Did you have any difficulty from transitioning to Hollywood to musical theater?
The style of music that this musical has is quite classical still, so for me it's not that difficult. It's lighter, but it's still, the technique is quite classical still, so it's easy. I would be able to do a belting, something like West Side Story or what was it before, Chicago, whatever, you know, so that would be the thing. But kind of music is still all the musical, classical styles.
Last question. Since you're playing in for quite some time, you still encounter some challenges?
Yes, it's difficult. The most difficult part of doing a musical for this time and so many times, the previous time we did it 370 times, I think, to keep it fresh, to not go into autopilot and just say the lines, to really be in the moment and make it as real as possible, because every audience that comes in, they pay a lot of money to come and see the best that you can do. So, and it's difficult sometimes because you're tired and, yeah, so that for me is the most difficult part. And also that is for me the biggest challenge.
My name is Ava Paint and I'm playing Baroness Schrader. So the captain's fiance, and I don't want to give too much away, but I'm sure you know who he ends up with.
I'm Jonathan Taylor. I play Max Deadweiler, who is a very close friend of both Baroness and the captain. And he's not very rich, but he loves to sponge off rich man.
You've been this tour.
And this is the first leg of the tour, so we've only been here for 2 weeks, so we came to the Philippines to rehearse. Yeah, so we had our first audience last night, and as you know, Friday is press night, and so we're still very new, but things are going well, and I think you're going to enjoy the show, and we love the Philippines. And after this, we're going to Singapore, Macau, Bangkok, and then to South Africa to Cape Town and Johannesburg.
Maybe Tokyo.
Maybe Tokyo, yes. Yeah. I have always been a fan of The Sound of Music. I watched it in Joburg with some of the same cast about 2 or 3 years ago, the first time they did it, and I sat in the audience crying, and I had this just burning desire in my heart to be in it. So when they did it in Durban in December, a smaller production of it, and I was involved in Sleeping Beauty, so another production, so it clashed and I couldn't audition. And then I couldn't believe it when after Sleeping Beauty in January they were auditioning, and so I flew up to Joburg to audition, and they called me about 6 weeks later to tell me that they were giving me a role. So it feels like such a dream come true for me. It's one of my favorite musicals.
I have to be honest, the last time I saw The Sound of Music on stage was in the mid-1970s. And I saw the movie once in the 60s. Besides that, I've heard some of the songs by accident on the radio, but I always loved it. My favorite thing is the Raindrops on Rosa. I always thought that was a fabulous piece of music. I think I was aware of auditions for Sound of Music, but I always thought, no, that's not really my cup of tea. But then the assistant to the South African producer phoned me and asked me if I was available and willing to do the Sound of Music tour. And then he said, we're starting off in Manila, and I said yes, because I've been to Philippines before, and I have a lot of friends that I've built up in the Philippines on the internet who I wanted to meet, and I absolutely love the Philippines. So I took the whole show straight off the page, and I didn't study anybody else's. I couldn't remember the production. So for me, it was like doing a new play, and having the script and studying it, I suddenly found all of the layers that the show has. That, as a younger man, in my 20s, in the 70s, it just wafted over me as a sweet, schmaltzy, corny music. But getting to know it, it has such depth. And there, it's been a revelation for me, because underneath what you might call the corny songs and the corny stories, there are layers which go darker and deeper into the Nazi history and the reactions to the Nazis. And my role especially, I didn't really remember the part, and when I got the script I realized it was a lot bigger than I thought it was. And he reflects very much the attitude of some of my own heritage. My own heritage is German Jewish, in part, it's Eastern European. And there were a lot of German Jews and European Jews who adopted exactly the same attitude as Max when the Nazis started to blossom. They thought, just sit tight, pretend to cooperate with them, it won't be so bad, it'll all blow over, and of course it didn't, it turned out very badly for them. And a similar thing with Max, he's very self-serving, he looks only after himself. He's very good friends with the captain and the baroness because they're rich, and they help him fund the music festivals that he puts on. But in the end, he's the one who sacrifices his life to help the captain and the family escape from the Nazis. And he ends up being carted off by the Nazis. You know he's going to be killed. You don't show it, but knowing what you know about the history, there's no way he would have survived. So this ultra selfish person, totally self-serving, even sings a song with the Baroness. There is nothing that's as wonderful as that. And he says to the captain, what's going to happen is going to happen. Just be sure it doesn't happen to you. He's got no morals, he's got no political convictions. He looks only after himself, but in the end, he turns out to be the hero who actually gives his life to save the others.
Is this the only production of Sound of Music you have performed so far?
Yes, you mean in the whole world?
Yes.
That I performed in.
Okay.
Yes, it's the only, I haven't performed in the Sound of Music before, and I haven't worked with this production team before. So the director has been new. It's been so lovely to work with though, and he's very, he's a very brilliant man. I think he's got a really nice way of working with the cast. He doesn't get upset, he doesn't get ruffled, he just, he gets his...
And he's very flexible.
Yeah, he's lovely. So everyone's been, this tour has been so lovely to work on.
Max and the Baroness are the only roles you have played in this
film. Yes, yeah.
In the Sound of Music?
Yes, sorry, I misunderstood.
I've never done Sound of Music before. My last, as I say, my last exposure to it was watching a stage production as a member of the audience in about 1975, 76, as a young man.
Since it's a fresh experience for you, what makes it stand out among all the other?
Oh, you mean all the other productions? I just think I've never toured before with the production. I've left some family at home. I've got a husband, but he's very supportive and he doesn't mind me being away, although we miss each other. But it's exciting and it's so nice to be on tour and not have any other distractions. So this is what we're focusing on. There's no other work that we're part of. We're not doing gigs here and there. It's only this. So I think it gives it forces you to focus on your role, and it's all consuming. But it's wonderful. Everyone's really professional. There are a lot of actors and the directors from done a lot of work on the West End. So it's an amazing reality.
It's a lovely diverse cast as well. And for me, as I said, what stands out about this production and Sound of Music as a piece of work is the revelation of just how many layers there are. It's in some ways it's a very serious drama. It's a serious, dark, there's some very serious dark. Well, it's presented as, it's a lot of lightheartedness, but the basic themes are quite serious. a woman who was going to be a nun falls in love with her employee and gives up being a nun in order to marry a widower with 7 children. In real life, they had another 3 children. You know, it is based on a true story. You know,
I do think it's really relevant in such a place where there's a lot of history with sort of the war that we visited in Trafalgar, I think it's called, and it was such a beautiful place. And yeah, just visiting the monastery and having the abbey and a lot of the scenes in the Sound of Music was wonderful. So I think it's relevant for all of the World War II history that is in Manila, especially.
And especially my own cultural heritage is being European Jewish, and part of my family was German Jewish. In fact, 3 generations ago, my family name was Schneiderman, which is German for a cutter, which is the word for a tailor. And my great-grandfather great-great-grandfather emigrated first to England, then to South Africa. He was given an English name of Taylor. And Max's story of just sitting tight and thinking it'll all be all right mirrors, I guess, the story of 6 million Jews who sat tight and thought it won't be so bad, and of course it turned out very bad. And it turns out bad for Max as well, in a heroic way.
Can you tell us about that? I don't see it as opening night. I see tomorrow as opening night. I just pretend that the audience aren't there because then I get too nervous. But tomorrow, for me, was the real night. But it was really nice to have the audience and they laughed at the right places. And it felt so good because you've been doing it for like nobody. So, you know, it feels a bit dry. So when the audience were in and they were clapping, it felt really lovely. And they didn't. They were very polite. They clapped very politely and they laughed very lightly. And so they were really polite.
It wasn't totally full, so I think we'll get bigger than
yeah, but it felt really good to have an audience, and we needed that. I think we reached the point where we needed someone to watch it. And
I'm the kind of performer. I've been a professional actor over 42 years, and the first performances are always the same for me. All I can think of before, I'm nervous before every single entrance, sometimes before every line. And I look at these little children who have got no nerves at all, and I think, how do they do it, you know? But for me, the opening night, when I get to the end, I can't remember anything about it, except that they did laugh at some of my lines. I didn't go on stage with my fly open. I didn't forget any important props, and I didn't mess up any lines. You know, I got through it. It's the first night is like a blur. It's a blur. Yes.